All right, welcome everyone. In this explainer, we're going to break down two super essential tools that help turn a great idea into an actual real business: the classic business plan and the modern business model canvas. So whether you're dreaming up the next big thing or, just trying to nail that university project, getting these right is absolutely your first step to making an impact. Okay, so here's what we've got on tap. We're going to start right at the beginning with that spark of an idea and see how to turn it into action. Then we'll look at the traditional business plan, the classic blueprint. After that, we'll check out the more modern map, the business model canvas. Then we'll dive deep into the financials, super important, and finally, wrap it all up with how to create your own blueprint for success. Every huge company, every successful startup, it all started with just one little idea, right? But the real magic isn't just having the idea. It's about how you give that thought some structure. How do you test it, poke holes in it, and shape it into something that can actually work in the real world? Well, that's where the journey really begins. And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You've got this amazing concept, you're fired up about it, but what do you do next? The answer isn't always to just start building something. Nope. The next step is to start planning. You need a clear, logical, and honestly, a convincing framework to really sell that vision, not just to others, but to yourself. So, a great way to think about this is like a four-step funnel. First, you've got that initial spark, the idea itself. Then, you got to screen it. Is it even feasible? Does anyone want this? Next, you do a deep dive analysis of everything. And only after it survives all that do you actually start writing the formal plan. Following this process keeps you from pouring your heart, soul, and money into an idea that just isn't ready. And that whole process, it leads us straight to our first big tool, the traditional business plan. In Malay, you'll hear this called the Rancangan Perniagaan, and it really is the detailed, nitty-gritty blueprint for your entire venture. So what's the key thing to get here? This is way more than just scribbling ideas on a napkin. It's a formal, super structured document. It lays out exactly what you're going to do, precisely how you're going to do it, and, critically, what results you expect, all backed up with solid research and, of course, financial forecasts. But here's the thing you have to remember. The business plan isn't just for you. It's your number one tool for getting other people on board. It's how you walk into a room and prove to investors, to banks, to anyone who will listen that you've done your homework, and that your exciting idea is also a smart, viable, and profitable business. Okay, so if the business plan is that huge, detailed architectural blueprint, then think of the business model canvas, or the BMC. Well, that's your modern, agile, one-page strategic map. It's designed for a world that moves fast, for people who need to adapt and innovate on the fly. And these are the 9 essential building blocks of pretty much any business. What's so brilliant about the BMC is how it gets everything on one single page. You can literally see in real time how changing one thing, say your partners, could completely change your costs. That visual connection makes it an incredibly powerful tool for just sketching out, testing, and totally pivoting your business model in a single afternoon. Okay, now let's zoom in on a piece of the puzzle that is absolutely crucial no matter which tool you're using. We're talking about the financials, because this is where the rubber meets the road. It's where your awesome idea has to prove it can actually make money. So what you're seeing here, this comes straight from some university material, is the financial plan section, or the Rancangan Keuangan. This is the part where you stop talking about passion and start talking about profit. It's all about the numbers. What are your costs? Where's the revenue coming from? And what's your path to actually being a sustainable, profitable business? And let me be perfectly clear about this. I can't stress this enough. Investors, lenders, stakeholders, they go straight for the numbers. End of story. You can have the most brilliant, world-changing idea, but if the financial plan is weak or doesn't make sense, it's a non-starter. A strong, realistic financial plan is what builds trust. It's what gets you the investment. Okay, so we've got these two powerhouse tools, right? The detailed blueprint and the agile map. So let's bring it all together. How does these documents actually lay the groundwork and set you up for success? When you get right down to it, it doesn't matter if you're writing a 50-page document or filling out a one-page canvas. The goal is exactly the same. It's all about building a knockout case, a powerful, convincing statement that your project isn't just a cool idea, it's viable, and it has a real, undeniable potential to succeed. All right, so this is where I turn it over to you. These documents, the business plan, the BMC, they're so much more than just assignments or boxes to check. They're the very first and, honestly, the most important step in making your vision a reality. So you have to ask yourself, You know your idea has potential, but is your plan ready to prove it?